And he's like, oh, no, like it's a guide chicken. We're learning it, like we're teaching it to lead the blind.
Hello and welcome to this episode of my podcast, Tom Sips into Conversation With. This week on the episode we have Maisie from Maisie Knits. Maisie is a very talented knitter. She's only been knitting since about 2019, so not a very long time at all. But if you look at her Instagram, you would think that she's been knitting for a very long time. When we recorded this episode, we had just kind of come out of a tier system into a full lockdown. And as you kind of know now in the UK, we're not back into a kind of tier system. They're just gradually bringing things back. A little bit about my week. Last week I went to work again, which was really nice. Had one of the busiest days in the kitchen that we've really had in this new place because it's quite a new business. That was really fun, really nice being back into the kitchen. This week we are recording the next episode of Historic Cooking, which I'm really looking forward to. There's going to be a bonus episode of the podcast where I talk to Esme, who is the owner of a restaurant in Coventry and some pop-ups in Birmingham as well, who does amazing Caribbean food, and that's the inspiration. Check out my social medias because I will be doing a behind-the-scenes video and I'll be shouting about the full episode coming out as well. So in this episode we talk a bit about Maisie's new job that she started back when we recorded this. We talk quite a bit about being in the hospitality industry because we are both in the hospitality industry and also really enjoy it and think of it as a career more than just a side job. We talk about some of her knitting projects, about our love for chunky wool. We also talk quite a bit about Netflix shows and other shows that we've quite enjoyed over lockdown. You will also find out what live animal someone brings into a restaurant that she was working at, which is a very funny story. So I'll be back in the middle with a little update from Maisie, and then I'll talk to you at the end. We start the conversation with me asking about her work.
So it's a company called Lane 7, and we've just opened. Well, we opened in the middle of a pandemic, so we're open for only about 2.5-3 weeks max. But it was amazing. I absolutely love it. But it's like a bowling alley. There's mini golf. There's retro arcade games. There's loads there, and then there's 7 bars, street food. Yeah, so it's a massive project. But it's such a shame we had to get shut down so quickly. But hopefully it won't be too much longer till we get back up and running again.
Yeah. Did you get to open much? Were you open for a period of time, or
literally 3 weeks max? That was it. We did all the prep behind the scenes, me and the 5 of the managers, in 4 weeks, and then we launched. And then we were open till the 5th of November, and we all joined on the 5th of October. So it was literally a month for all of us. It was really it was quite stressful, but it was really good. It was just really intense. And then to go from nothing and then smash that out and then absolutely nothing again, it's been but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, at least kind of you got a job and stuff. Are you still able to get furlough?
No, 100%. Oh yeah, no, luckily the company's looked after us really well. But we've had the opportunity, we've all said if we've got the opportunity to kind of help in other sites and stuff until we open or whatever, but obviously we're all on lockdown at the minute. But they're opening Manchester as soon as everything kind of opens back up again, which is another similar size site to us, which will be wicked. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, because I remember you sharing photos and stuff, and I think I've started following them as well. And the food, the food looks incredible.
I miss the food so much. I've worked in restaurants my whole career, but it's the first kind of place that's just done kind of street food as opposed to actual sit down kind of service. And street food is my favorite thing. And I made friends with all the traders straight away because I was like, please, I need all of this. It's so good. There's a trader called What's Your Beef. They're Manchester based, but they do the best burgers I've ever had. And they all have halloumi on the menu, and it's the greatest thing. So I really miss that.
So is it lots of different vendors, different street food vendors rather than one kitchen?
So we've got a service yard at one side, which has 3 big shipping containers, and there's 5 different vendors. So there's quite a good range of stuff. There's Thai food, there's chicken and waffles, there's burgers, there's what else is there? Bao buns, which are unreal, and then there's English Indian, which I've just joined, which is an Indian twist on fish and chips. So I haven't tried them yet, but I'm looking forward to once we open. So yeah, it's a big place.
Yeah, Yeah, as soon as like lockdown and like restrictions are lower, if we're in and you guys are in the tier 2, we definitely want to come over.
100%. Let me know, because we'll get you booked in. Yeah, because it's wicked. Yeah, you can spend the whole day there. And obviously, being in Leicester, it's been in lockdown the longest, kind of in these kind of restrictions. So when we open for the opening weekend, people coming in, they're like, "We've been waiting for this for so long. Like, I'm so excited to be outside." It's like, yeah, that's fine. Like, keep coming back as soon as we open again, because we need you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it looks wicked. Like, I'm well excited. There's so many things that we want to try and do when we can. But yeah,
it's that frustration of not being able to do it yet. I think that everyone just kind of wants to get stuck in, but
yeah,
hopefully it won't be too long.
Yeah, I feel a little bit fortunate because when we were in a slightly lower tier, I work for a cafe, so I was able to go out at least 2 days a week. I was doing a bit of delivering, and I was getting to work in the kitchen, so I was able to get out. But my girlfriend has been working home. She was on furlough for a little bit, but for most of it, she's been working from home, and it's just hard work, just being stuck at home all the time.
Yeah, I can imagine, and it's hard. Like, I think being in your own space when you're not used to working at home, because it's the way you go to relax. So like, I'm used to when I get home, it's just kind of like my downtime. I'll sit and I'll knit, or I'll watch TV, or I'll just chill out basically. So doing that all day, every day was nice for a while to kind of wind down from how intense work's been, and then it's just kind of like, I don't know what else to do now. I'm sick of the same four walls, you know. So I'm making myself go out on like hikes and stuff, which is great. But no, I actually don't think I'd ever say this, but I actually really miss going to work. I really miss the long hours. It's mad, but
yeah, it's really weird. We're just about to order an actual desk because our apartment's quite small. We've been putting off for ages because we don't know if we really need it. But
of course,
because my partner's working so much from home, it helps give her that separation of this is my workspace and then this is home. So
no, yeah, exactly,
yeah. So what have you been doing?
It's definitely good to have that.
Yeah,
what have I been doing?
Lockdown time.
I mean, I think I've knit enough to kind of fuel a small army of people. Especially in the first lockdown, I was down in Cardiff, so it was slightly more strict. So I think I knit about 17 jumpers, maybe. It was madness. I was just absolutely running through them because I was like, I've got nothing to do. Like, probably wasn't that many, but it felt like it. And then when I moved back up to Leicester, like, I kind of slowed pace a little bit. But yeah, I've taken this time to kind of start kind of developing my skills a bit more. Like, I don't really feel like I've been knitting for that long, although I realized it was May 2019. But I've still kind of been doing kind of like basic patterns. I haven't kind of done my own stuff yet. So I've started to try and kind of develop that a little bit more, which is fun and frustrating. But yeah, I'm just kind of pushing myself a little bit more in that sense. And then just luckily I've got my bubble, so like I'm able to kind of go out and kind of like go on hikes and things like that, which has been really good. So just kind of keep myself a little bit sane. But yeah, other than that, it's just kind of been mostly knitting focused, to be honest. It's been quite nice to have such a long time to kind of develop it a lot more, and to kind of have the time to do the projects that I really want to do. So it's been good in some ways, for sure.
That's cool. And did you say you started knitting in 2019?
Yeah.
Have you never done it before at all, or did you just pick up needles?
I mean, I used to sew. I know it's very different, but like from that I could kind of I could understand like patterns and things. Like, it just made sense to me, so it's quite straightforward. Like, my mum taught me to sew from a very young age. I think I knit a scarf once when I was younger, and it took me so long, and I used the wrong size needles, and it was the most frustrating thing. I think my nan finished it in the end because I was like, I can't do it, I don't like it. It was a gift for a friend, so I hope she still got it. But yeah, I started in May 2019 because I just wanted something to do. I wanted something that didn't take a lot of focus or a lot of brain power, in the sense that I find it very relaxing because I'm learning, but I'm also kind of switching off at the same time. And it was really good for me. Like, because of where I was working at the time, because I was working in Cardiff, it was really, really busy. I was working in a restaurant there, and I just needed some headspace, really, and it could really help with like my anxiety and things like that. So that's what I just started. I didn't stop, really. And yeah, I just picked them up, and the first cardigan I made was one of these, actually. It's a Lauren Aston one, but it was in like a mink colour, and I mean, it's awful, don't get me wrong, it's not great, but like all my my pearl like stitches are like twisted and things, but I've still got it. I can't unwind it. I've got to keep it as like a this is where I started kind of thing. But yeah, I just picked it up and kind of went with it, really. Just had a go. But
that's awesome. Yeah, that's definitely a common theme that's happened with this podcast, is that a lot of people have started knitting and crafting because of helping with stress and anxiety, and kind of just helping you focus on one thing and not the rest of the noise that's kind of going on in your brain.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, like your first like project, I'm guessing the scarf that you did back when you were younger was probably
it was
crazy thin wool and like thin needles and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it was.
And then
yeah,
and then I can tell that you've realized that chunky wool is the way to go.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I always make both my nans a gift for Christmas, and last year I made them like this really lovely like chunky snood. Like one of my nans is like, she complains she's cold all the time, so I was like, amazing, I'll make this, you'll be warm. And then she was like, this is too hot, like I can't wear it. I was like, what do you mean? Like you go to a house and it's like the heat of like the Caribbean when you walk in, like you just got to go in like a t-shirt, and it's ridiculous. So this year I was like, right, I'll make you something a little bit thinner, and I used really fine mohair. Honestly, it's the most stressful thing I've ever done. I was just there, I was putting it off. I think I knitted 3 things in between because I was like, I don't want to do it. I started them in August and I was still knitting them on Christmas Eve. I was like, I can't do this. This is horrendous. But so chunky wool forever for me. I can't hack thin stuff. I don't mind holding, like if it's like a multiple strands, whatever, that's fine. But just that on its own was absolutely soul destroying. It's not for me.
Yeah, I know. I spoke to Lizzie from Hive Knits, and she started kind of similar with you, with the Lauren Aston, yeah, and she started going into the mohair stuff, and she's actually kind of enjoying it, I think.
Yeah.
At some point, for me, I think I'm starting to want to use thinner wool, but that's probably because I want to try and make a project last longer than.
That's fair. Yeah.
A jumper and stuff can take a week if I'm like taking it easy.
Yeah.
But I think like thinner wool is just going to make me help like slow down my knitting and help my spending a little bit.
No, I mean, I didn't realize quite how expensive a hobby knitting would be. I mean, I love the outcome of it, but I didn't quite realize how much of kind of a chunk my bank account would take. But no, I think what I went wrong there was I didn't kind of go for like a medium kind of thickness in the middle. I went straight, the thinnest wool you could imagine. There was no kind of buffer in the middle. So I think like I do want to start making stuff that's maybe, because at the moment I'm quite a selfish knitter in the sense that everything I knit is for myself, but I want to start making stuff for other people, and obviously that's not always everybody's cup of tea. Luckily, like I made my mum a cardigan for Christmas, and she's all into chunky stuff as well, so that was fine. But like if I'm to make something for other people, I might need to kind of scale it down a bit, but I won't go from the chunkiest wool possible to the thinnest wool imaginable. I think that's where I went wrong there. But
yeah,
I think I need to take it a bit slower.
Yeah, I think there's still loads of people out there who love chunky knits. But I think chunky knits that like in the UK, really winter is kind of the best time. But if you've got something a little bit medium weight, then it's going to be a little bit, you're going to be able to wear it for more seasons.
No, exactly. And that's the mistake I've made because I've got nothing for the summer.
Yeah. And you've kind of moved, you started with One of the Gang stuff. And then you've kind of moved away from One of the Gang. What other wools do you like to use?
So to be fair, like I love the Crazy Sexy wool from One of the Gang. I've really fallen in love with their Tina tape yarn. I made a cardigan in that over the summer. That was beautiful. I've just reordered that. I was a big fan of We Are Knitters. I really liked the wool. I have tried some paint box stuff. I've tried their cotton things, which I really enjoyed. But predominantly I use Lauren Aston. I mean, I have her, because it's the super chunky stuff, but it's not quite as chunky as like Crazy Sexy wool. And a big thing for me is that ironically I'm actually allergic to wool. So it's really handy for me. Like I can wear it, it's fine, but when I'm knitting with it, because all the fibers coming off, like I've noticed, because I've just got some more Crazy Sexy wool in, like my face has just been like so itchy. But I kind of moved towards Lauren Aston just because her stuff's hypoallergenic, so I don't have any issues with it, which is really handy. and so I can actually enjoy knitting it. I'm not kind of crying as I'm doing it. But wow. No, yeah, I've been sent. I did a question box the other day on my Instagram to kind of get some recommendations. I've had some really good ones. So apparently, Drops is a brand that I need to try.
Yeah, I think I said that as well.
Yeah. I had so many people say that to me, and I was like, right, okay, well, that's going to be kind of like the next thing that I order. And I think it's Sidar. Some of their stuff's been recommended to me as well. So I've had some really good stuff. So I'm going to try and branch out a little bit more because my wool stash is getting quite big and it's all kind of the same brand. And I really want to move away and kind of try some more stuff because I'm a creature of habit. So
yeah, also like things like Wool and the Gang, they are really good, but they are really expensive as well.
They have got quite a high price point,
yeah. I think that it's quite good when you're first starting because they do have really good instructional videos and their patterns are very easy to read and stuff. So I think it is a good starting point if you've got the money. But there's so many different types of brands of wool out there that are just as good, if not sometimes a little bit better.
Yeah, no, like I think that's where, like you say, it's a really good starting point, and I always make the most of their sales if I can. That's why I kind of do most of my ordering, to be honest. But I do think it is quite, because Wool and the Gang and like We Are Knitters are two very big companies within the knitting community. I do think some really good brands do fall by the side like quite often. So that's why I'm kind of trying to make a conscious effort this year to kind of, and I want to look at some kind of small businesses that do their own dyeing and things like that this year. That's something that I really want to kind of focus on. So hopefully.
You're wearing your like kind of latest cardigan, aren't you? Really?
Yes,
got, like,
I
a
am.
Pink one as well that you're on.
Yeah, so I've done. Yeah, so that's I'm using Cameo Rose and Yarnacorn. So I'm doing a chunky jumper at the minute because I don't have enough chunky jumpers apparently. But yeah, so I'm currently working that out. I've done the sleeve completely wrong, but so I've got to pull that back, which is a bit annoying. But I'm hopefully going to get that worked out today. But that's one of, I'm just kind of making it off the top of my head at the minute. So I'm allowing myself to make the mistakes of it instead of kind of being too hard on myself about it. But I think I figured it out now. I've put too many stitches in, so it's too wide and then it's too long because of it, and we'll get there. But yeah, so this is one that I've kind of made recently, and then like the biggest project I've made. But I didn't think I'd ever kind of go for this color, but I actually can't stop wearing it. So it was a good investment.
I was gonna say the color really suits you, and like it really goes with your theme. Like you've kind of, I like the way, I don't know if you've done it intentionally, but the way your like Instagram kind of flows is like I guess you're like following with one pattern, but yeah.
Really, I mean, thank you. I've tried to be a little bit color coordinated just to kind of get an overall kind of aesthetic for it, because I mean, I've had like my own personal Instagram for a while. For a while I was doing a fitness Instagram, but I was pushing myself so much that it wasn't enjoyable. So picking up and starting this knitting Instagram, I mean, I did it on a whim. I was like, I just want somewhere to kind of more to show my family like what I've been doing because I live so far away. And I was going to start taking photos or whatever. And then I was like, okay, people are actually kind of starting to follow me. And the knitting community is like no community that I've ever been part of. Everyone's been so welcoming. I mean, yourself, I mean, Zoe from the Woolly Grammeth and Abby from Calm Homemade, like just from day one have been so supportive and like chatty, and like everybody wants to talk to each other, and it's really nice. There doesn't really seem to be that much kind of competition. Everyone kind of bigs each other up, and it's the weirdest thing, but it's the loveliest thing at the same time, because normally, you know, like I say, like in like the fitness industry, but like community that I was kind of part of for a while was so kind of like, oh, well, my stuff's better than yours, or like I'm posting this content, and it was quite hard for me anyway. And so to now do this was like, okay. And then I was like, right, I should probably kind of get some kind of like continuity, because I love that kind of like, I'm big on coordination and things like that. So I was like, right. So I tried to express that through my Instagram. So I'm glad that it's kind of being picked up and appreciated, because I'm obviously doing something right, which is quite nice.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the knitting community is just amazing. And I had a conversation recently about it as well, of the people that you see on Instagram, they seem like real people. And there's such a mix of people, different shapes, sizes, backgrounds, everything. Oh, yeah. And like other communities, like you said, like the kind of like fitness thing, it seems like they're just trying to show off their like fitness persona. You don't really get to have like a proper sense of who the person is.
No, yeah.
And like, yeah, everyone that I've spoken to on Instagram and stuff about knitting and stuff has been just wonderful.
Yeah.
So,
and it's so nice because if you ask for advice or you ask for a pattern, or you just kind of go, oh, where'd you get that from, or you ask for suggestions, and everyone's so willing to kind of give you that, and it's so nice. There's no like, well, no, this is mine and you can't have it. It's like, do you want to test this out for me? Like, can you help me out with this? Like, this isn't quite going right. And I was surprised the amount of people that have kind of come to me and gone, oh, how have you done this? And I'm like, I have no idea. Like, bless you. I mean, obviously I'm going to give as much help as I physically can. I'm always like, oh, if you need anything, like, please just drop me a message. I might not get back to it because I can be quite awful at replying to things sometimes, but I will. And like, because I'm genuinely really like flattered that you'd asked me for kind of advice on stuff, like because I was like I said, like, I don't really feel like I've been knitting for that long, and people are like, oh, it gives me hope that you haven't been knitting for long. And I was just like, honestly, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Like, as soon as you get your head around it, like, something just clicks, and I think, and you can just go with it. I think once you kind of figure out the basics, you're absolutely fine. So
yeah, that's awesome. And like, I'm really hoping that this podcast series helps inspire more people to give it a go. And if they do find like knitting, for example, it's not their thing, give crochet a go. If crochet is not your thing,
definitely.
There's so many crafts and arts and all kinds of ways to express yourself to kind of help, especially like at the moment when we're recording this, UK's in another lockdown. Who knows when we're going to come out? And if we do come out, I think everyone's still going to be on quite a high tier system. It's still a long way to go. I mean, we'll look back at this at some point, but it's still a while to go.
It's still a while for us, like, there's a long road ahead. Like, I was saying to one of my friends the other day, like, it's mad how like this will be a period of time that will be studied in years to come, when they're like, what happened in 2020, and you're like, oh no, please don't bring it up again, but no, I think it's going to be a different pace of life for a long time. And to be like, everybody wants the normal back, and I also, like I said, I can't wait to go back to work and kind of do all the hours under the sun. But at the same time, we shouldn't all kind of strive for that intense lifestyle that a lot of us were living beforehand. Like, we should be adopting a slightly more mindful, kind of slower pace of life. I think it's really important. So anything that you can do to kind of help with that is at the end of the day, you don't have to be particularly good at it. If it makes you happy and you enjoy it, then, and it gives you a sense of accomplishment or sense of peace, then I think that's all that really matters when it comes down to it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm hoping that, as a society, we're all going to kind of grow a little bit and kind of work out how we want the world to be a bit more, rather than just following the routine that we have been for doing so long. That hopefully we all will take a step back and we'll all start going on a walk just to go and clear our head and appreciate going outside and seeing other people.
No, definitely. Like, I mean, I genuinely just can't wait to go and have a cup of tea with my nan, to be honest. I'm looking forward to that day, and just go for a walk through my hometown and just appreciate the fact that it's a lot quieter and it's a lot slower pace. Like, I'm really looking forward to that day.
Yeah, we can't wait to have people over to have like a dinner party. Like, I love cooking, and I love my girlfriend loves hosting, and it's like a really good combination of like when we can actually get people around.
Yeah,
we just like, it's something that we can't wait to have again.
No, I bet. Like, and it's mad how you miss things like that, I think, because there was such a joy that everybody appreciated before. I mean, like you say, like, you really enjoy it, and it's something that really kind of brought out the best in the both of you. And until you have that taken away, you don't realize how much you kind of need that, and how much you really do miss just those kind of like simple evenings of like not having to go out on like a big night out, or like go out and physically do stuff. Like, just have people over in your own home and just kind of relax. Like, it's mad.
I really hope you're enjoying this episode with Maisie. It was so fun editing this again and reliving this conversation. So here is just a little update from Maisie.
Hi guys, I'm Maisie from Maisie Knits, and ahead of my podcast episode with Tom that's coming out on the 30th of April, I thought I'd jump back in here and say hello to you all. Sorry I've been a bit MIA at the moment. As most of you I'm sure are aware, hospitality has finally started to get the green light to open back up again. So I've been busy making sure that the people of Leicester are happy and enjoying the sunshine. I do have a few projects on the way. I'm currently halfway through 2 work in progress, and I've got another one in the pipeline, which is a bit more summery. Not my usual chunky style, but we're going to go for some cotton knits this year. I'm determined to be able to wear all year round. I'm currently rocking my Vicky Knits vest, which I do have a post coming up on shortly. I hope you're all okay, and I can't wait to get back and chatting to you all soon. Bye.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast, or follow or leave a comment, and also, really importantly, if you can share the podcast as well. The more people will get to hear this podcast, hopefully the more people I can help inspire to start creating. We slip back into the conversation with me asking what she likes to do in her spare time.
I watch a lot of Netflix. I feel like I've completed TV at the moment. So I am trying to branch out and listen to like a few more like podcasts and things. There's a couple of podcasts that I absolutely love. So I'm trying to kind of find a few more and actually try and find some more kind of like crafting based ones. So I'll definitely be blitzing this as soon as you release your first episode. I'll listen through those as well. But like, I'm a big kind of I don't know, I'm just really big on kind of like visual stuff. So for me, I just kind of stick on Netflix and just kind of just go with it. Because it kind of distracts me enough to a point where I'm not focusing so much that I do it wrong, because I can be like that as well sometimes with like stitches and things. But so as long as it's nothing too thrilling, I'm okay. But I mean, I've rewatched all the Stranger Things last week. I've redone Friends about 1 million times, Gilmore Girls, like we've gone through all the big series, and so I'm going to start again now. But yeah, if anyone's got any recommendations, chuck them my way, please, because I feel like I've really completed TV at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting to the point of like we're not sure what to watch. Well, we just finished watching Sweet Home, which is this like weird Korean end of the world zombie monster show. It's weird. Not exactly sure what the hell's happened, but it is dubbed, so like it's in English, but like the plot is just so loose, and it's based off like a web series, and apparently the web series is much better and it goes into a lot more detail. But there's so many things that just aren't explained, and we got halfway through and we're like really, really addicted to it, but we just don't really understand what happened. But yeah,
I was exactly like that with, I don't know if you've ever seen a series called Preacher. It's on Prime. Yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of that. I didn't pick it up again because I was like, I loved it. I absolutely I was like you say, like was absolutely hooked on it. I hadn't got a clue what was going on, and I was trying to explain it to like my friends and stuff on the phone or whatever, because they were like, "Oh, what have you been watching?" I was like, "I'm watching this," and they'd just be there like, "What on earth are you talking about?" Like, I don't know. I physically don't know what's going on, but I can't stop watching it because it's great. But
yeah,
we all need a series like that so often.
Yeah, I think I listened to a couple of podcasts where they were talking to, I think maybe one was Seth Rogen, who is one of the directors, and someone else who was in it or something. And I think I've got a couple of the graphic novels of it as well. And so I think I kind of I nerded out a little bit about it before I started watching it. But it's kind of weird.
Okay, you got a bit more of a backstory, yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird because season 1 is like the prequel to the graphic novels.
Right.
And then season 2 is kind of loosely based off the graphic novels, then it kind of goes on. Yeah. So season 1 has got nothing to do. Well, it's kind of setting up the scene because the novel kind of just gets straight into it and it doesn't have anything. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's very, very gruesome. There's a lot of blood.
I think that's the other thing. I think because when I first started watching it, I didn't realize it was a graphic novel. Whereas with most things, I kind of have some kind of knowledge about what it is because I tend to look stuff up. With this, I didn't. I was scrolling through and I was like, that'll do. It's got Dominic Cooper in it. I like him. We'll go for it. I was slightly misled, I feel, by the title because I didn't know it was a graphic novel. So I was there I know it's not going to be kind of like happy, happy sunshine. I can see that from the trailer. However, I was not aware how gruesome it was going to be.
Yeah, my girlfriend watched it with me for the first and half season. And we're gonna pick it back up again because I think we had a break. And then I was like, "Do you want to watch this with me again?" And she was like, "It's too much. It's too much. You can watch it by yourself."
Yeah, fair. I was watching Stranger Things with one of my friends. Like we kind of did the whole thing where you time it at the same time and watched it together because pandemic rules and things. And he'd never watched it before, and I was like, okay, like I know what's coming. And then obviously it gets progressively kind of worse as towards like the third season. And I mean, even though I've already seen it, I was I stupidly decided to eat my dinner at the same time. And I was like, oh, I've done this wrong. I've really, really misjudged this. I shouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
No, not at all. I was like, first and second season, fine. Third season, no, don't have your dinner while you're watching it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I can't remember what show it was, but there was a show and we tried to watch one of the episodes and then it's just so gory while we're having dinner and we stopped it. A couple of weeks later, it was like, oh, when are we going to try and watch that show? Exact same thing. We had to stop it. And then we ended up watching it like a few days later, but while we were in bed and not actually trying to eat. But I can't remember what show that was. But yeah. So have you got Prime as well then?
Yeah. I've got Prime. So I'm trying to make my way through that now as well. And Disney Plus is also kind of keeping me a bit sane at the moment. I need to catch up on the Mandalorian. I watched the first couple of episodes and I haven't kind of gone back to it yet. But I've been hearing really good reviews on that, so I do need to go back and watch that. I'm really bad at like when everybody else is watching something, I kind of don't want to watch it. I'm quite bad with things like that because I don't want spoilers and I don't want people to ruin it for me. So I like to kind of enjoy it at my own pace. But yes, I'm looking to go back to that now actually as well. So hopefully that will give me something. I've just watched all of Sabrina, watched like Bridgerton, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm up to date with everything now. So I need new things.
we kind of stopped with Sabrina because it started getting a little bit Riverdale-y and a bit like musically and just a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if it keeps it going like that or if it was just one episode that kind of put us off. But
yeah, I mean, there is one episode in it which it is, like you say, it's very musically and it feels very kind of, like you say, it's very Riverdale. It doesn't stay like that because I watched the first season of Riverdale and was like, yeah, this is great. I'll watch the next one. And I mean, I have watched it all the way up to date, but I don't know what the writers are on when they wrote the script. But I was like, what is happening? This is madness. And the fact they've renewed that for another season, but they've cancelled Sabrina drives me mad because... Oh, really? Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure they have anyway.
I thought they were going to cross-link a little bit more because...
Yeah, because they're the same universe, aren't they? Because they're Archie, yeah. But they've I don't know, but apparently they're everyone's kind of petitioning to get HBO to pick it up apparently at the moment, like they did with Lucifer when they cancelled Lucifer. And so hopefully they do, and they don't do it kind of an injustice it did get very, like the last season was very good. It's very kind of my thing to watch, so I really enjoyed that. And it kind of moves away a little bit from the whole Riverdale kind of like, I don't really know what that is anymore, to be honest. It's a lot, but yeah, it moved away kind of graciously, and it was, to me, it's very kind of reminiscent in many ways of like Buffy, and Buffy was a massive thing for me when I was younger. So yeah, all about it.
Yeah, another show I would recommend is The Wilds, which is on Prime. It's about I don't want to spoil anything. It's about basically a group of girls that kind of go on this retreat. It's like a wellness kind of like empowering kind of retreat. And their plane crash lands and they get stranded on this like desert island. But like we were just hooked like straight away. It's really, really good.
Okay, I'll pop that on my watch list then for definite.
Yeah. I've started watching The American Office because I never really got into the English one. And I've never watched the American one. I was like, well, we're in lockdown, might as well.
Now's the time, yeah. I was the same that I couldn't get into the English Office, and I'm all about like British comedy. Like I do love it, but that I just couldn't kind of get my head around. It wasn't really for me. But I've watched like a few episodes of the American Office, like here and there, like when they've been on. But no, I've myself and my sister have been cracking through that as well, which is, I mean, it's great. I think it's absolutely hilarious, and Steve Carell in it is incredible.
Yeah, I can feel it getting a bit better, but what it's doing is making me want to watch Parks and Rec again, because Parks and Rec is the same formula with like the whole kind of like documentary in an office thing, but I feel like the characters are just better in Parks and Rec.
That's another one that I need to watch as well, because I've been recommended that so many times, and it's Chris Pratt in that, isn't there?
Yep. It's young, fat Chris Pratt. And then he gets a little bit like fitter as the kind of years go on. But yeah.
Before he becomes Star-Lord.
Yeah. Before he becomes like a massive like international star.
Yeah. I know. I definitely need to watch that as well. Yeah. It's definitely on my list.
Cool.
It's a good thing I've got some time so that I can actually get through them.
Yeah. Do you think so are you a manager at the place?
Yeah, so I'm the assistant general manager. So it's myself and a friend of mine, Lucy, who are kind of like second in command at the moment. So she's in charge of all the bars. I'm in charge of all the floor, which is good because it's my kind of forte. I've always kind of grown up as like with waitressing and kind of always been a floor manager. So it was a big step up for me, but it's been really enjoyable. And it is, I think there's kind of a mindset, I think, with a lot of people in hospitality where people always kind of want to get out of hospitality. I think there's always a certain group of people that I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. Or everybody always kind of says like, I'm not doing another Christmas. And then next Christmas, 3 Christmases later, you're still there, you're still doing it, because deep down, I think we all love it. Mm-hmm. It is very stressful. It's tiring, it's intense, but this is kind of the first time in quite a while that I can honestly say like I actually love my job. Like I really enjoy it. And it's because it's so different for me, because it's more kind of events kind of venue kind of based. And we're looking to kind of host things like we've got a massive screen, so we can do all like the sports, we can do this, that and the other. So it's quite a flexible space that we've got as well. So I'm really kind of looking forward to it. So even though there's the extra kind of stress and the kind of the big step up, like I am really enjoying it. Definitely. That's
cool. Yeah, I think because I've been in hospitality since I was 16 as well. So
yeah,
it is kind of nice seeing more people actually seeing that as a career. Like there's a lot of people that just use it as like just another kind of part-time job or a bit of cash, whatever. But there's definitely there's a lot more people who are starting to see it more as like an actual career, which is good, because I've been seeing it as a career it has been my career for quite a while.
Yeah.
So.
No, same. Like when I graduated, I mean, I did a dance degree. I did nothing to do with hospitality. I did it while I was at uni because I was a waitress when I was back home, and I was like, I can make money, I can make tips, I can live. And then I started to really enjoy it. And as soon as I graduated, it was a choice of, okay, do I step into a management role? And, obviously I was really lucky that was open for me. And I was like, do I do this and kind of progress and kind of not worry about student loans and all that kind of stuff? Or do I go the other way and kind of just kind of wing it in other jobs that maybe I might not enjoy so much? I was like, no, this is something I want to pursue, and I have ever since. And I find it gives me everything that I enjoy. I love teaching other people. I love kind of watching other people kind of grow into what they can do, whatever. I taught dance for a few years, so to me it's a similar skill set. And I just ran with it. But like you say, it's so refreshing now, I think, to see people actually take it seriously, because there's quite a lot of, I think, misconceptions about the hospitality industry that people have, and they think that, oh, it's not a proper job. And the amount of people that would ask me like, when are you going to get a proper job or whatever, and I'm like, this is a proper job. Like it is, and it's hard, and it might just look like I'm just giving you food, but actually there's so many other things that you've got to take into consideration. And I don't think people really give it the time of day that it deserves, and kind of the respect that it deserves in many ways. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, I do take pleasure in those occasional employees that you get who think that they're just doing it for a bit of money. It's like nice and easy, and then they're put on like a Saturday, like a busy service, and they're like they have no idea what they're doing. And it's kind of nice to see that like penny drop, and then realizing, oh no, this is hard. This is not just standing around, just pass some food out.
Yeah. And it's like I enjoy that moment where they're like, oh, okay, this is actually like serious, and I really need to kind of strap in and get on with it. I used to kind of love telling, I mean, I still do. The stories that you get from hospitality are just next level, and I'm sure it is in quite a lot of other kind of careers and this and the other. But sometimes when I talk to people about kind of experiences that I've had in restaurants and with individuals of the public and this, that and the other, and they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I haven't made any of this up. This is real. Like, this is hand on heart. This is real, and we have to deal with it. one of the weirdest things I think that's ever happened is when I was still waitressing, a guy walked into the restaurant on a busy Saturday with a live chicken.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have apparently a face that everybody wants to talk to. So everyone always comes to me and I was like, great. And he's holding it like in Austin Powers when the evil guy turns around, he's holding a cat, like he was just like clutching this chicken. I was like, one, why is the doorman let you in? I don't understand. And I was like, what do you want? And he was like, oh, my friend sat over there and looking after his chicken, it's not eating. And I was like, have you got a phone? Like, call him. Like, you can't come into the restaurant. Like, my chef, because it was an open pass, was literally sharpening his knives. He was like, get that chicken out, Maisie. He's like, get it out. And I was like, okay, I don't know what to do. All my managers were busy. So I was trying to look after my tables and do this. And this guy went over, like, he kind of pushed past me to the table and he was like, I was like, mate, like, you can't be in here. Like, you need to leave. We don't allow animals in the building. And he's like, well, why not? This chicken's been on Britain's Got Talent. It can do backflips. I was like, honestly, this is amazing, but you can't be in here unless you've got like a guide dog with you. And he was like, oh, no, like it's a guide chicken. We're learning it, like we're teaching it to lead the blind. And I was like, mate, you need to leave, please. And luckily a manager came over at that point and saved me. But I mean, you just can't make, you can't make it up.
That's amazing.
And it was peak on a Saturday. And I was like, this is like 8:30. We're in the middle of dinner service. We've got so many people waiting around the bar, and you thought this was a good idea. And I was just like, I can't. And like this poor woman was on one of my other tables and she like grabbed my arm as I walked past and she was like, if he lets that bird go, I'm out. I was like, babe, I'm with you. Like, me and you are like going to leg it because I'm not dealing with a chicken flapping around the restaurant. That is not my job. But yeah, it's madness. Like, the experiences you get in that industry is just next level. But
I've never heard a live chicken coming into a restaurant before.
Chicken coming into a restaurant.
That's a new one.
We used to have pigeons that would come in all the time. We'd have to like shoo them out. But that was, I mean, it was brought in with a person and it was just insane. But no one could help because everyone was busy. And I was like, please, someone.
Yeah, there's probably a few people that were like, I'm sorting this out over here.
I am very busy right now.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you do get some good stories. I don't think I have anything. Well, most of my stories end up quite gross, which I won't share on the podcast. But
same. I'm sure we could have a long list of.
Yeah. People can be disgusting.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
So have you kind of like always been? So when did you start in hospitality? Like when you were 18 or like? So
when I was 18, I was just kind of, I'm from quite a small town in Shropshire, so there wasn't really, it was like you have a paper round or you kind of work in one of the pubs. And I was teaching dance at that age anyway, but like from the age of about 16 to 18. So that was kind of my Saturday job. So I really focused on that. I didn't really have much time for kind of anything else. And then when I was like, right, I'm going to uni now, I need that summer, I need to make some money. I need to do this, that, and the other. And a friend of mine worked in one of the pubs in town, and she was like, well, I can get you a job if you want. I was like, yeah, sure. And then I've just never looked back. So yeah, I just ran with it. And
nice.
Yeah. What
kind of dancing were you into?
I did. So I don't kind of have like a formal training background like ballet or anything like that, but I just started when I was younger. My family were always big on like, you have to have a hobby. You need to have something to do. I was swimming for a while, and then I was like, yeah, no, it's not for me anymore. So I started doing dancing when I was like 8. So I was quite late when I started anyway. And just did kind of like show stuff with a school in my hometown. And we did all the like shows in like London. Like we've done quite a lot with it. Like it was really enjoyable. And then I kind of fell in, that was more kind of like stagey, kind of like jazz kind of style stuff. I kind of progressed a bit more when I went to college and did more like contemporary and a bit more formal training. Like we did like some ballet and things like that. But contemporary for me has just always been, once I found it, I kind of was like, I don't think I can kind of look at anything else now. I think just because it is so fluid and there's so much you can do with it. So that's why I went on to study at university. But I absolutely love it. I haven't danced in about 4 years. I miss it like no tomorrow. But we're not really. My age group isn't really like catered to. Like I'm only 26, but we're seen as kind of like the cut-off kind of age, like classes for a lot of places are like 21, 22 maybe. So if I go to like an adult class, that's fine, but it might not be the kind of adult class that I would want to go to. I want to go to like a kind of like professional kind of advanced kind of class, and it wasn't really catered to. There's some really good classes in Wales actually, which I went to in the Millennium Centre, but then COVID hit and I didn't get to go anymore. But that was absolutely amazing. So hopefully they'll start branching out and doing a bit more once kind of restrictions have lifted, because I'd love to do it. But because that to me is what I used to use, what I now use knitting for, is kind of like headspace and just kind of focusing on one thing. Like it was a really, really big thing for me. So
yeah, it's a bit more exercise dancing than knitting as well, because you're moving.
Yeah, I mean, my watch keeps telling me, they're like, are you doing an elliptical workout? I'm like, I've never done an elliptical workout and I never will do an elliptical workout, but yeah, sure, I'll log it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I quite a few years ago now, I had a go at doing ballroom dancing, which I really got into, but everyone in that class was like at least 10, 20 years older than me. But the instructor was like a bit older than me, but so I would dance with the instructor every now and again. But at that point as well, she was heavily pregnant, so I was quite far away from her when I was dancing as well.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah, it's something that I've kind of like, maybe when the world is a bit safer, I might look into it again. But it's just trying to find time, really.
No, I think because it's quite a time consuming thing, because you have to allot time to go to classes and this, that and the other, whereas the thing that I really enjoy about now knitting is that I can just pick it up and put it back down again in 10 minutes if I need to, or it's a very mobile hobby. Bang it in a bag, you take it with you. Like I in most meetings at work and things, I normally have a project with me so I can sit and kind of do it while we're taking notes and things like that, just because to be honest, it helps me focus on kind of what I'm doing. So
yeah, because it's like you can kind of do that as your fidgety thing, and it means you can kind of focus a bit more what people are saying.
Yeah, exactly. And like it sounds ridiculous, but it really does. Like it really helps me focus in what is actually being discussed and kind of not drifting off in the back of my head thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner. So it's really handy.
That's cool. I also saw that you've got like 3 tattoos.
I do, yeah. I've got 3, yeah.
What tattoos have you got?
So I'm really big on Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland is my favourite thing in the whole entire world. So they're only small, but I've got the original John Tenniel illustration. It's only about like this on my back of just Alice where she's looking up at the Cheshire Cat, but it's just her. I've got a little white rabbit, same illustration on my ankle, because I'm late for everything. So it was like a big joke with all my friends that like, okay, we're going to ask you to be there at 3, but actually I didn't need to be there till 3:30 because I need the half an hour break, like that half an hour buffer to actually be on time. I'm a lot better now, but I used to be absolutely shocking at time. And my closest friends will know that when I say I'm going to be there at 3 or whatever, I'll be there about 10 quarter past maybe, because I feel like all my energy goes into being on time for work and for like meetings and things. So when it comes to like my free time, I just get distracted very easily, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that. It'll take 5 minutes, and I'm like 45 minutes in, I'm like, oh, probably should have left now. And then I got I can show you this one actually. On my arm, I got it's my mum's handwriting. It's her actual handwriting. If you can see it, she's got the fanciest handwriting in the world. But it just says mother's daughter. I'm very it's the Miley Cyrus song, yes, but I'm very, very close with my mum, and we are the spitting image of each other. So I was like, why not? Me and one of my friends are like, when the studios opened, because it was in between the second and the third lockdown, she said, do you want to get a tattoo? And I was like, oh, yeah, why not? And we just went in.
Nice.
I'm very on a whim, yeah. I was meant to have my 4th one booked in the beginning of January, but obviously with lockdown I didn't get to do it. But that'll be a slightly bigger one on my arm here, so hopefully that will still go ahead once everything opens back up again. Yeah.
Do you have any other hobbies?
Other hobbies? I like cooking. I love cooking. I love baking. One of my best friends is also really big on that, so we're always sending each other recipes and stuff. So once a week we try and make something kind of together or whatever, which is really good. I'm a big foodie. That's one thing I miss most, I think, is going out for food and brunch. I miss brunch. I know it's really basic, but I love brunch. It's my favorite thing to do, and I miss it a lot. And just kind of going out and trying new restaurants and trying new types of food and things. So I didn't think that I would be so into it considering the industry that I'm in, but I absolutely love it. And it is something that I do really miss. So I'm hoping that it's not too much longer till I can go out and get some avocado toast with some poached eggs on it, to be honest. As simple as it is. Can't wait.
Yeah, same. Yeah, we can't wait. There's a new cafe not too far away from us, and they've only been able to do takeaway because they opened in between lockdowns, and we're really excited about seeing them actually open. And there's loads of places. There's like, I would love to actually, on a day off, actually go into my work and sit down and have a breakfast there as well, because just all of that really.
It's nice to see it from the other side though, because I used to always love going to where I worked, like when I was off duty, and just kind of just go in and actually experience it from the other side. And obviously I know you've always got like a kind of a bit of inside knowledge or whatever, but I think it makes you a bit more patient with things like that as well, like if something goes wrong or whatever. But I really enjoy it just because I enjoy the whole, like, I don't know, just the whole like atmosphere and the whole kind of experience of it all. Kind of, I love it, absolutely love it. I can't wait.
That's cool. That's really nice to hear that you're in it, really into hospitality, and like yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
nice.
Definitely. It's a big thing, I think. Like I say, it's not like just kind of circle back what you're saying before. It's so nice to see people take it seriously and other people have the same passion for it that you do, because a lot of people do kind of look at me and they're like, why do you enjoy it so much? I'm like, because it just changes every day. It's different and it keeps you on your toes, and you have to be, I think it's an all or nothing kind of thing, and you've got to kind of be all about it, or you just kind of get swept away with it, I think. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, that is one of the advantages. It is no 2 days are the same. It is different every single day.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was episode 10. Thank you, Maisie, for being on the podcast. I really enjoyed talking to you, and thank you everyone for listening as well. I really hope that you enjoyed the episode as much as I did. I really hope that you like and subscribe to this podcast and follow me wherever you're kind of watching or listening to this podcast. It'll really help, and even more importantly, if you can share as well, hopefully more people can listen or watch these episodes. The idea of the podcast is to try and help inspire more people to create and craft, because it's really good for your mental health. And even though we're starting to come out of the lockdown now and things are starting to slowly come back to a bit more normality, I think we all still need to check in on our mental health and make sure we find some time for ourselves as well. And hopefully talking to these amazing people might help inspire you or other people as well. I'll be back with another episode on Friday, and I will be talking to Abby from Calm Homemade. Keep an eye on my social medias, but episode will drop next Friday. I will see you next week. Bye.